guys are not going to believe this. A few months ago, something crazy happened to me, and I didn't talk about it at the time just because I didn't want to put any more attention on a negative situation, and I didn't want to encourage anybody else to do what happened to me. So I just stayed quiet about it. And now Troy's mom, Karen, is speaking out, and she had this same exact thing happen to her, and now I'm starting to think that maybe the same person is involved. So now I think it's time to come out and talk about what happened to me. Back on October 15th, just a few months ago, it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I was sitting there doing laundry, and I ended up going outside my door of my place. I had to go outside for a moment, and then as I'm walking in, I'm like going to shut the door, and I look behind me, and there's a guy walking up, and he says, "Are you Amber?" And then he said my last name, and I was like, why? Like in a blue suit, he had glasses on. The best way to describe his look, he looked like a mix of like what you would expect a preacher to look like, mixed with a little bit of what a psychiatrist looks like. And he was holding this big stack of papers, and he asked me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? How are you? He was like, I'm good. I just wanted to see if you are okay and if you're having a mental health crisis. And I was like, no, I've been good. I've been cool, calm, and collective. I haven't had no kind of crisis. I was just utterly confused at that moment. And he said, well, I'm part of this place called Beacon Mental Health. And at first I was like, okay, maybe he's just going door to door, and this is like a new mental health place, and they're just trying to promote themselves to get new clients. And so I figured he was going to everybody's door around me, like all my neighbors. But then he said, no, we specifically got a phone call about your name. They told us your name and said that you were suffering a mental health crisis, and they wanted us to come check up on you. And I was like, I'm okay, I promise you. I had my 2 kids I was just sitting there with. I was just trying to get some laundry done, and he asked me if I was like in counseling and how often I go to counseling, if I plan to go back to counseling, and just asked me all kinds of mental health questions. He asked me if I wanted to hurt myself, if I was struggling, or had any big like tragic or huge life events happen recently. And I was like, no, I'm okay. And he gave me this brochure, and it was about this Beacon mental health place, and they're talking about all these services they offer at no cost to you. And he was like, please just take this brochure and please just give us a call tomorrow and we'll get you set up with something. Even though I kept telling him I was okay, and he ended up leaving, and I was just like, what the hell was that? Because I really don't be talking to anybody except like a few family members. I'm cool with all them. I barely even see them, but like on holidays and maybe a few times a year outside of that. I'm literally just a homebody that just be kicking it with my kids 99.9% of the time. And I couldn't figure out who would have called this on me. So I'm like, okay, it has to be somebody that I pissed off on the internet. And at the time, I'm like, I don't know who it could be. I went back to the videos that I posted around October 15th, and that morning I posted a video talking about a lawsuit that I had just found out about regarding Zaria. I do remember Zaria was not happy about this video, and this is around the same time her and Troy were telling me to go play in traffic on a live. And just a week before that, I was talking about all the drama that had gone down with him and his mother, because this was the first falling out that we saw them have when they were on the show. And that's when Mama Karen started exposing them and saying that Zaria was all broke out in the face because she was sucking all this D, and just said all kinds of crazy stuff. Mama Karen ended up going live on Saturday, and she claimed that somebody had called mental health services on her and said she was having a mental health crisis. And that is the same exact thing that happened to me. And originally she speculated that it could be Zaria, but she's like, I really can't say if it's her or not because I don't have proof. I don't know who it was. And I'm kind of thinking that could be a possibility because she has been in the mental health system in the past. I feel like her, out of all people, probably knows that all you have to do is just call this place and give a person's name, and the next thing you know, they'll come knocking. And like Karen said, I feel like this is almost the equivalent of calling the cops or calling CPS on someone and bothering somebody and the safety of their own home. So let's see what Karen had to say about all this. And I do want to make it clear, I'm not saying Zaria did it, but it's definitely one of those things that just makes you go, Or it could have just been someone that watches me and Karen both and just doesn't like either one of us, and they may just be a viewer and decide to do that on their own accord. Or it could have just been completely unrelated. But all the details that Karen shares are so similar to what happened to me. So
y'all ain't gonna believe our family is what they tried to pull.
that's how I felt after it happened to me.
Y'all know my earring annoy me. Yeah, they tried to pull some bush. And don't too many people know where I live at. Somebody called the mother crisis services to my house. The lady was cracking up. She said, "You don't look like you in no crisis." I said, I ain't in no mother. I wasn't in no crisis. A Puerto Rican lady and a white lady came to my house. I said, "Do it look like I'm in a fucking crisis?" The weed man was pulling up. He didn't even come in the house. He said, "Karen, it's a white lady and a Puerto Rican lady at your house." Left me their card and everything. Then they told me if I ain't have insurance that I was gonna have to pay for their visit.
What? What? That's not right to be able to charge you.
My roommate came out that room. He said, "Look, she ain't even past the kitchen throne." She peeked in my house and said, "She don't look like she got no crisis to me. Nails done. I had just pulled my lashes off. I told you I was going to do that." It had to be Zaria, my daughter, my sister. Vaughn came over here today. He just came to get him something. So he ain't even involved. He ain't even that smart to do no shit like that. That lady said, "Okay, so I said, you got your tree up your house and stuff and everything." I said, "Yeah, but I need to go shopping and get my food because I ain't go shopping yet." Told me to call her Monday morning. They will. How y'all paying for me shopping? Y'all just told me that I had to pay for y'all coming to my house if I ain't have insurance. I had to get a bitch my insurance card and every motherfucking thing.
I didn't have to do all that.
I was cussing and everything. I said, "I'm going to get y'all fucking reason for Christ." They couldn't even find my house. Save me some money. They can give it. I don't mind taking a gift card.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Sounds like a blast.
That's just sad and sickening.
You're just tuning in, guys. Really appreciate if you guys would smash that like button for me.
That's just like calling CPS on somebody. Calling crisis services.
That is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.